Welcome to another Motortown update video. Today we are here to take a look at the new 0.7.11 update, which just dropped onto the beta branch. This means that it's not going to automatically update for you unless you're already on the beta. So in order to get that, you would need to go to your Steam library, right-click onto the Motortown name in the list, and then go to Properties, Betas, and from there you should find the public testing beta in the drop-down menu. It's usually also a good idea to back up your save files if you want to get on here. Everything is still under active development. It's quite a ways along, but there can still be some changes which will mess with things, and it's better to be safe than sorry here. That being said, there's another topic I sadly need to get into before we really start with the topic of the video. I'm back on my old PC, which is why everything here is likely looking a bit worse than you remember from the past videos. My regular PC broke down, it's a whole thing, it's kind of annoying, and I already had problems with it before. And I don't really even have the time or energy to deal with it right now. So that might be going on until the holidays. And if it's a tougher problem to deal with, maybe even into next year. Not sure. For the time being, I'm on this thing, which can barely run the game. And also kind of worse, it doesn't even open Discord. So I need to do that on my phone, meaning that I couldn't even quickly grab the patch notes for this, so I'm working off my memory and I hope I get all the important points in here. It's a whole situation, it kinda sucks, and I'm honestly tired of my regular PC because it's just such an unreliable piece of work. Anyways, let's get into the new content because this is quite amazing. We have two new vehicles. First up we have the Dory Wrecker, which is of course a Wrecker version of the regular Dory pickup. Wheel lift in the back, crane as well with functional winch, and this thing is really cool. We're going to talk about it a bit more later down the line. I just need to remember what was the other vehicle. I'm drawing a blank here. Maybe if I rotate my camera. Oh, there it is. The Rotator, of course. Golima Rotator, what can I say? This thing is insane. It's insane to have something like this in the game. This is not just a wrecker, this has a fully functional crane on the back, functional outriggers on the side in order to stabilize yourself before you go into crane mode. It's amazing. But I'm going to be honest with you, I think it's a bit more of a toy than anything else. Don't get me wrong, heavy duty engine, heavy vehicle, wheel lift on the back. This thing can deal with the heaviest of stuff that the game can throw at you. But the crane part, while being awesome, while being usable and everything, I don't know how much of an actual use it has at the moment. You can definitely have a lot of fun with it, but in terms of jobs, I'm not entirely sure. Also, wrecker jobs right now don't really pay enough to put in all the time that you need in order to get everything from this thing used. So usually, especially for off-roading, you are better off with the Brutus Wrecker, especially since that thing doesn't really go off-road that well anyways. But yeah, for a lot of things, Brutus would be my go-to wrecker here. But this thing, I mean, it's amazing in its own right. So yeah, it costs 620k. There are upgrades for the 3 winches in the back, which cost 300k each. So that's almost 1 million in addition to that. So this is really for rich people. If you want to try it out for free, I think you can spawn it in over here at the Wrecker spawn point at the docks. So that's a good way to just have a quick go at it, or just rent it out over here. Doesn't really matter. But yeah, buying it should be something that you do if you have money to spare. We are going to test out all the functions in a moment, but yeah, I think before that, let's quickly talk a bit more about the Dory Wrecker over here. Because this thing is actually quite the gem. I requested this, I think shortly after the original Dory came out. because this just seemed to be too good of a thing to pass on. And let me tell you guys, it's not only amazingly cute, it's actually pretty capable. And in a way, it kinda replaces the Polio, not in terms of taking away the Polio model, but if you go to a tuning garage where you usually would find a Polio stash there for you to use, you will now instead encounter this thing. And yeah, the Polio, as you can see, is still in the game. But this one is usable enough. It's pretty good for light vehicles, so any regular car or regular pickup should be easy to transport here. And it comes with a V8 140 horsepower engine by default, so it's pretty decent. And most importantly, it's quick. So you can get to a job real quick, you can transport the stuff off to the next garage quickly enough, so this is going to make you a lot of money. And yeah, if you buy it for yourself, it's only a third of what the Polio costs, so pretty good vehicle to get into really early in my opinion. But let's now take a look at the upgrades with my own one. Also, I would like to quickly shout out Motor Town Hub, which is a new channel and focused on making tutorials for the game. So high quality editing and that kind of stuff, and they just released a video about how to set up your company AI trucks and how to make money with them, how to use them for supply runs, that kind of thing. I'm going to link them in the description and I highly recommend you check them out. So getting into this vehicle, this actually has the regular engines, so if we go into powertrain, we can find everything from H2 engines, inline fours, V8s, and also the V12 if you want to use it. I'm using the 240 horsepower V8 and I'm really happy with it. For the most part, this is just the regular Dory with just a few more extra things here. I think the suspension may have been stiffened to allow it to actually be useful as a truck without completely bottoming out the rear suspension. Seems a bit bouncy, but overall really nice. And again, it just works amazingly well. So for the front fenders, I think this one might be a new one. If you want to go full road raging mode, this is a tool that helps you do so and keep the car alive a bit longer. I think it's also now available on the regular Dory, but I don't remember if I checked. I think I did, but might remember wrong. And yeah, we still have one bonnet up here. This is nothing that you can really do anything with because this is just the default one. I think this might be a hint that there might be future other options, but this has also been a thing on the pickup version for a long time, so yeah, I found it worth pointing out, but it really is a nothing burger at this point, just so that you don't get confused. And also some options for the rear fender. I quite like the standard one, but I mean there are lighter ones and all of that if you want this kind of look. And that's it for aero tuning. There are, however, a few nice little other additions. First up, trailer hitch, just like on the regular vehicle. I don't know if you really need that on a Wrecker, but it's still available if you want to use it. The higher one might be slightly interfering with the wheel lift, but the lower one should be clear. But then again, you can also attach your trailer to the wheel lift directly, so I don't see why you necessarily need this. You have the option for a front winch, 5 tons actually, which is quite ambitious for this vehicle. But this is actually really good because this means you can use the front winch to anchor yourself to the ground. If you want to pull something really heavy with the rear winch, use this one to attach it to the ground and then use the rear winch so that your vehicle doesn't just roll backwards. So this is actually really good for those kind of things. Rear winch, the usual options including the 10 ton. Again, very ambitious for this kind of car, but sure. Also, a few utility boxes if you want them. 2 inventory slots per side, so this is kind of nice for additional storage. If you want like a wheel repair kit, some ferry cans, maybe cones, whatever. So yeah, this is everything regarding this one. So let's get into the rotator and take this one for a spin. It's a neat thing. As I mentioned, the rotator is actually very, very expensive, very heavy, and I'm going to try and get it out of here and quickly show you guys the upgrade options. There isn't really too much that's unique about this. So let's just quickly go through the things here. Engines and everything is the same as with other heavy-duty vehicles. So you have those engines, you have those transmissions and everything. Suspension, nothing new. Tires are the heavy-duty stuff. So you have the single-wheel tire options. And also the one for the double-wheel rear axles here, which are both powered. But you have first rear axle there, that's actually a lift axle. And for wheels we also got the new Golima wheels. So these are brand new. Kinda neat. More silver instead of white or anything darker here. They seem quite a bit darker than the regular ones, so this is a nice new option. Nothing in terms of aerodynamic. For some reason this one and also the regular Golima doesn't have the stuff on the top, but it's on the Trello, so I think that should be back sooner or later. And yeah, it has 5 winch options. We have 2 on the crane and the third one down below, and they all come with a 300,000 coin option for 20-ton lift, and yeah, this is where it really becomes a rich people's toy. If anything, get one of them to start out with, but you don't usually need all of them. So let's bring it over and actually try to lift up my Campy here. Just to check out all the functionality of this truck right now. So I'm just going to set it up over here. We should actually keep the engine on, because another addition to the game, and this also applies to the Dory Wrecker and the Kira Rollback. We are using the engine power now to power these things, and that means we can be a bit quicker with some stuff. So in this menu, and these boxes are on either side depending on where you want to go. Here we can choose between using the rear outriggers, the center outriggers, and also the crane or underlift. So this is a lot of options already, and if we go in here, you will see it only gets worse, kinda. So we can choose to use them individually, but there are also some options to power more things at once. So if I go with my left trigger, I can just lower them down simultaneously. I noticed a few minor issues where I have some conflicts with my other buttons that I use in the game, so this might actually throw me out of the menu and then the stuff is going to continue. So I'm not going to be using the hotkeys, but instead the actual buttons over here. So if you want to get the rear left out, this is how it works. Just press the button and keep holding it until it's as far out as you want. I'm going to extend them by the maximum amount here just to be safe. And you notice it went a little slow. However, with us now being able to get the power from the engine, we can also set up how much throttle we want, and that means that if I now use the stuff, it's going to be a bit quicker. So that's the max speed now, and it's going to be the same for everything else here. So this now means that the outriggers are both down, at least on the rear. We can do the same thing on the center. So if I move this one out, it's going to be decently quick. If I move the other side out, it's also going to be quick enough, just like that. And then I can also bring them down individually, or both at the same time if I use the triggers. Maybe a bit further up should be nice. Yeah, this should be alright. And now let's finally get into the crane itself. We are getting a different camera for this one, just so that we have a better overview. We can also go into first person and really get the immersive way of handling things. But yeah, we are still throttled up at 100%. And let's now try and lift the campy. First up, I'll be raising the crane a little bit. And this thing, let me just show you how far up it can go, because this is kind of insane. They also made sure that now the pistons work, so it's looking pretty nice. And yeah, this can go not entirely vertically, but pretty close to it. We can also extend the crane. So this can go up even further. Pretty neat, almost catching the sun there. Okay, back into the crane menu. And let's get it down now. I'm going to use the trigger for this, but I'm also going to rotate the crane left and move it backwards. Because this thing can actually slide along the back of the truck to get a bit more reach if it needs to. This is one of the slowest things. I'm not entirely sure if the throttle thing is actually being applied here, because it feels like very slow. But yeah, this way we are pretty close to the truck that we want to lift here. The thing is, the only way to get the winch cable and get the winch controller, part of which is also put into that menu, or just cut the winch cable. These three options, right now, they are only available through interacting with the front of the crane. So if it's fully up in the sky, that's gonna be very hard to reach, if not impossible. But yeah, once we have the cables attached, we can actually extend or retract them through here, through the crane menu. So we have a top left winch out, in, and the same for the right. So if I just go to the top left winch and get that in, we should be lifting up the front. Seems like that's the other side, so I might be thinking about this wrong. But yeah, we are now lifting up the truck, and yeah, this is amazing, this is fun, but to be clear, I still think it's a bit more of a toy than anything else. I hope we get a job for this to really require using it and being able to do stuff with this whole thing. This is too fun to not need to use more often. But I can see that there will be a lot of shenanigans with this in the future. So we can now move it over to the other side. I think the crane rotation doesn't go further than fully forward, so it has a full 360 degree motion, but it cannot do like more than that. So from its starter location it can go 180 degrees in either direction, but once it's fully forward, then you need to go the other way to get it anywhere else. And yeah, we cannot cut the winch cable from here, we cannot get the controller to control one single winch. That's all stuff that you can only do from the front of the crane. So if we put the crane down again, we should be able to just leave the car there. Also, as long as it's floating, I can actually go there and push it around. So you can see it now rotates the way I want to. If I want to have more control, I can use the third winch in the back here to hopefully pull it the way around that I want to. So there are ways to deal with it, but you're gonna know what you're doing. But yeah, this thing, it's amazing. I'm just gonna leave it here like this, because otherwise, yeah, just packing everything up together is going to take a while. The last thing I would like to show you in regards to this right now. You have seen the amber lights on this. This is actually not an option for the car itself. And they are all functional. Pretty hard to see right now, but yeah, the main thing here is these amber lights, they are attachables. So I can uninstall them and put them on differently. Let's see, I would be surprised if they go on the outriggers, but no, that actually works. Alright. So yeah, these are new placeable items like the other light fixtures. They are not available everywhere for some reason. You can get them over here at the tow truck dealership. They are just on top of the shelf. And they are in one of the regular supply stores right here. And also the luxury dealership tuning shop behind the actual dealership here. I think they may have forgotten about the other two stores, I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, they are optional now. They are also on the Dory, which I own here. So the thing is, your vehicle already needs to have a siren option for this to work. If you don't have any sirens on the Dory, it's not going to do anything. The indicators and all of that, they don't flash or anything. But it has that stuff built in, so you can actually use it, but on regular cars, like for example the Fortum here, it doesn't do anything if I go in here and press the button. And I'm pretty sure I have this set up correctly, so if I go through here and change light mode again, yeah, we're going back to manual, so it was on the last option. So there is now a light modes option for this, so if I go through the entire list, which takes a while now. Left and right turn signal were added the last time around, and this is the siren mode. But once again, since my vehicle doesn't have that, it doesn't work. It's basically for the wreckers. Okay, so much about all of this. Let's now talk about this thing right here. The Lomax has gotten some love and I'm really happy about it. First up we got extensions to the actual platform here. I don't know if they actually function in terms of strapping stuff onto it. So far I didn't have that much luck with it. But yeah, the main part of the cargo bed now has gotten some extensions. I wish we also got that for the upper part, the ramp here, and especially the loading ramp. But to me, the not being able to strap down the wheels were always the biggest issue, so if that works now a bit better, then I'm happy about it. Also the ramp itself. I remember a lot of the complaints about the Lomax because of, well, they're not really working well with regular cars. You always get damage if you try to load something onto this, and their way of trying to address this is a foldable ramp now. This isn't an upgrade, it comes by default, so the old ramp has been completely replaced, and we now get the folding and unfolding option. Since it's a bit slow in my opinion, I'm just using the unfold ones when I use the vehicle, and I just keep it like this. Doesn't really hurt, there aren't really any tunnels on the map. And yeah, if I tilt it down now, due to the longer ramp, we are not going up that steep of an angle, and therefore we should be able to load stuff easier without anything breaking or getting any damage. So this is another neat little update to the Lomax, and I'm really happy to see it. Again, the extensions are actual parts that you need to equip, but this thing comes by default. Okay, one of the last things I would like to give some attention to is the rollback, because I think I mentioned it already, but the throttle up options for the controls in the back, this has been added to the Brutus Wrecker and the rollback truck as well. So if we go here, we also get the same throttle up option, and this makes everything work a tiny bit quicker. So if I roll it back, this is going to be a bit quicker now and not take that much time. So just like this. And yeah, this is going to make it much better to use in the long run. Just no need to wait until it's fully up or down all the time. It's just gonna be a bit quicker to handle. Also, from what I've seen, there is a card on the Trello for this at some point getting a wheel lift as well, so we should be able to transport 2 vehicles. Maybe we could also go with a trailer hitch or something, so that we can actually take the SPT1 trailer and just get 2 vehicles on there. Since I noticed a while ago that the harbor stuff, it doesn't go beyond a certain speed. So getting the wheels off the ground would be required for that. Anyway, so much about this. I think the last thing I want to talk about here is that they updated the icons for the rescue requests and everything. So we can now not only see that it's an off-road request and which car it is, but also the mass. Very useful when you are planning out which one to go to, because some of these actually now come with trailers attached. So if you have a semi-truck, you will usually encounter it with a trailer, and that one might be quite heavy. I don't know if I have any of those on the map right now. We have, oh here, there it is actually. FL1 and Vamos 3, so that's 20 ton, meaning that my Dory would likely struggle. I already did one of those, it works, but barely. And here's another one with a Cotta trailer. Maybe this one is unloaded. I don't know if they come loaded, but yeah, this is one of those jobs for the heavy duty stuff. And if they come fully loaded, then maybe we would also need to really go for the rotator actually. But yeah, for the time being, I think Dory Wrecker is still gonna do a good job and should be alright. But yeah, I think that's about everything I want to talk about here. I hope I didn't miss anything. There should be all the important stuff, I reckon. But let me know in the comments if I missed anything. Other than that, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about the update. And till next time, have a good one. Bye bye.